Namaskar. I'm Kumar Akesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we're going to discuss the bureaucracy in politics. We have discussed two, three times more, but why today discussing? That's the point of the Telangana. And just you see in Telangana how bureaucracy just tried to overcome the politician and politics. And recently, 2 days back, the BJP president, Mr. Bandi Sanjay Kumar, has been arrested on the just on the allegation of he was not wearing mask, and according to law he was just put behind the bar. After that, today he has been sent the 14-day judicial custody. So we can say this is, I think, the political war, not the judicial war and executive war. But why the bureaucracy just taken for granted for the any opposition leader for their cause? One. Number two, how the TRS president and the overall, all in all, Mr. CM K. Chandrasekhar Rao, so how they are behaving. Another one, Union Minister, the Tourism and Culture, Mr. G. Kisan Reddy, has been tweeted and said in the to the media, TRS government is behaving like the West Bengal government. He should they should remember this is Telangana, not West Bengal. They should understand the sensitivity of the governance of the government, and that's why I just organized a show. And on the contrary, the concerned police officials just took the decision on the allegation of not wearing mask. Same day, on the contrary, same way, G. Kishan Reddy alleged. If you see the last before 2 days and last 7 days, the rally and meetings of the CM K. Chandrasekhar Rao, he was also not wearing the mask. If law is law for the law are same for everyone, either you're chief minister, the president, or the citizen of the country and state. Why they are not following that way? So with this concern, we just took the just one journalist from Hyderabad also will join later. So how just you think, Amit ji, as just a author, a sensitive citizen, and the law-abiding people of the country, this correlation of the politics and bureaucracy with reference to recent incident?
Firstly, see, I mean, I think we are trying to mix two very different and divergent subjects here. If you see at the superficial level, they both come across as very separate streams. But if you probe a little deeper, you will realize that since the time of British, bureaucracy and politics, especially after we got independence, it has always been hand in hand. Because due to a better understanding of that particular stream of governance, it could be agriculture, it could be
Your
finance.
voice is just little bit slow. Just raise your the volume should be
Is it any
please.
better now?
No, more better should be.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to say that since the time we got independence, the country was effectively ruled by the bureaucrats only, right? And it was the bureaucrats who decided the economic policy, the agriculture policy, the way forward for the government, and it was largely said and felt that the effectiveness of the government largely hinged on one single fact: how effectively the government could handle bureaucracy. However, in late 80s, something very peculiar happened to Indian bureaucracy in particular. Bureaucracy started getting politically ambitious also. And that was the time when the line between the government and bureaucracy started getting blurred. And now, I mean, post 214 to now 222, the line between the bureaucracy and the government has got absolutely blurred. And now you can see it that there is a tiff between the government and the bureaucracy who gets a upper hand there. So that takes care of the bureaucracy and the government part. Coming to what Mr. Rao is trying to do, so you Mr. Rao or you Mamta Banerjee, they are the same. And if you look at this whole episode from BJP's perspective, BJP is trying to do what any party would try to do to increase its footprint in the states where they have not been. So it could be Kerala, it could be West Bengal, and the list goes on and on and on. But what Mr. Rao is not understanding that by arresting BJP president for not wearing mask, he is making a mockery of the entire judiciary of his very state. We can't hear you.
Your voice is so low, actually, not little loud, actually.
I mean, my volume is you can't.
Okay. Either way, nearby the mic, please. Thank you.
Okay. So I was saying what the Mr. Rao is trying to do. I mean,
That's better. Yeah, yeah, it's better. Yeah.
what the Mr. Rao is trying to do to me, it looks very foolish, and I don't hope that Mr. Rao will get any brownie points for what is he trying to do. Yeah.
So, Alok ji, how just you analyze the situation and how just the bureaucracy in Telangana, how that always it has been seen either in Bharat, India, and other way also, the bureaucracies take the lead and the instruction from the politician. Already they are the policy makers. Sometimes bureaucracy is so out of way. They behave like that, and that time they're trying to show their effectiveness, how they are powerful, just power of law. Recently, we have seen the some in Bihar, sometimes in West Bengal, how bureaucracy behaved when the CBI raided the DGP commissioner office, and how the Mamta Banerjee behaved. She just staged dharna at the police station. Then give the moral boost for the public, how they are behave like that for their vested interest. So how they should be balanced for the public, we keep off from the vested interest one, and just for the politics or just for the bureaucracy, not but just for the public. Do you think bureaucracy should behave for the public, not for the politician, not for the politics?
Good evening, Kumar Rakeshji and fellow panelists and our viewers. Like the speaker who spoke before me, he was very correctly mentioning that since 80s there has been, some changes in the bureaucracy. Now, Amit Shankarji very clearly he pointed out that there's, they also have their political ambitions, and this is coming up. And it is very unfortunate that these kind of things are happening. You mentioned the Telangana case. You also mentioned the Bihar case. We can also talk about what in UP today. Akhilesh Yadav was also mentioning that if they come to power, they will also start, learning from what has been happening in Maharashtra and in Bengal. So I think this is very unfortunate, but this is what is happening with the regional parties. If you see this, this is happening with the regional parties. Now, the problem is, do the bureaucrats have a political ambition? We have to analyze this. Or are they working on the orders given by their masters? They were political masters, obviously. Because what is also happening is that whenever a new political party comes to power, or they try to put their own setup in place, which happens internationally. They have their bureaucrats in place, so they are more loyalist towards the ruling politicians, and so they take instructions. I don't think either he's got this police, the person who's gone ahead and arrested somebody. So first of all, we have to analyze, in case a person is not wearing a mask and is maintaining some social distance at the time of speaking, in case this is a legal crime, and in case of crime, does he go into a judicial custody for 15 days, or I'm unaware of the law, to be very frank. I don't know how does it work. In Europe, what is going to happen is, and most of the time you see lots of politicians, they take off their mask or they have the mask here, and nothing major is happening because they don't try to take political mileage out of each and every action which is happening. Now, what happened in the comparison which is being done, that you're trying to behave like Mamata Banerjee, what happens in Bengal, it is going to happen again and again because the central government did not do anything about it. What happened in Bengal? After the BJP workers were, brutally killed or even punished or beaten up or whatever, uh, what did the central government do? They did not do anything. So now you've set a precedence. Now just imagine a situation which is the other way around, and it is something like that you put presidential rule there, then you would have sent a very strong message, in spite of the fact that Bengal has this, history of having violent elections. We have always had our eyes on Bihar and on Orissa. And I'm proud to say today that these two states are faring far better in, accepting democracy, the democratic principles, and also accepting different ideologies. And they are not doing what, let's say, in the previous days CPI was doing, or now Trinamool is doing. Now, because we have to protect the democracy, but they did not send a strong signal. That was very important. In case had they sent this strong signal, then the regional parties, they would not have dared. So a person like Akhilesh is saying, if we come to power, we will learn from Maharashtra what have they done. We will learn from Bengal how they have stopped the central agencies. So people are already thinking on those lines. So the thinking has to be stopped, and I think center has to take very strong action. So the comparison is correct, but the difference is that in Bengal, there is a past of political violence, and the CPI workers were very happy, and they even felt, honored that they were doing this with their opposition. But what happened at the end of the day? A person like Jyoti Basu, who was almost synonymous with West Bengal, he lost. CPI is nowhere to be seen in Bengal. Now, is Mr. Rao looking at something like this? If he's looking like this, then
CPM already supported Congress last time.
No, that is okay. But where do they stand
so
today?
many CPM cadre joined BJP also. This is also a matter of fact.
Definitely, because they don't see any political future in Bengal. And this is what happened because of these kind of policies. When you go and bash up or, you imprison people of the other political party for no reason or rhyme, in case it is, I'm not saying that it should not be done. In case the opposition party person is doing something which is illegal, or he's trying to instigate, any kind of violence, I don't see any reason why the police and the bureaucrats should not take any action. But in case, you're trying to do something just to, let's say, terrorize that person, or you trying to, show that we are the bosses there and you cannot do something like this, which is happening in Bengal, then the center has to think about it, the election commission has to think about it, and the judiciary has to think about it. So this development cannot be appreciated. What happened in Bengal cannot be appreciated. But if center does not take very strong steps against these kind of things, then I think this is going to increase. So stern action should have been taken in Bengal, which the center failed to do. And that's the reason these things are happening. Your mic is not on, Mr. Kumar.
Ji. Sorry, ji. Ji.
Yeah, over to you.
Okay. So welcome, Vandana ji. From Chicago, senior journalist and social activist. I just try giving the references for just bureaucracy versus politics with reference to arrest of the Telangana BJP president Bandi Sanjay Kumar by the local police authority on the vengeance, and you say on the allegation he was not wearing mask. One day he was just kept behind the bar, another day sent to judicial custody. As well as the Union Minister for Tourism Culture, Mr. G. Kishan Reddy, he also leader from Telangana. He just alleged about the CM who was from the TRS, earlier TRS, and both were the friends and joined the club hands in so many issues. And already Congress allies many times. TRS and BJP is the uh, um, uh, same coin and friends like anything. So here is that police should also check the status of CM K.C. Rao, how he was wearing mask or not last 7 days. But who is in power, they show the power, they have shown the power, and this is a matter of confrontation going very high pitch now. So on the that's why I related the bureaucracy versus politics. How bureaucracy is strong, how politics is strong, and both should go in a parallel way. So that is our this my point of discussion. Just you can relate. So that's a brief view accordingly. So
Namaskar.
what do you think bureaucracy should behave like that and civilized and disciplined soldier of the democracy, or they should act on the tune of the politician?
Namaskar, everybody. All my co-panelists, Kumar Rakesh ji, as being a host, and our viewers. Interesting subject. When you talk about the one leader of the party, one political party not wearing mask, and he's been arrested, I think on that context, more than 3/4 of the Indian population should be in the prison, to be honest, and because law should be equal for everybody. But are we following the law? Number one. I mean, and sometimes these people, they make such kind of law that's been done by the bureaucracy, which is the biggest mockery. I was talking to a friend of mine, you will be surprised. They say he's single-handedly driving a car. He has to wear the mask while driving the car. Otherwise, there is a fine. What a joke. You are traveling, spouse and you, husband and wife, who is sharing bed together. When they are traveling, they have to wear a mask. What kind of law is that? That's the biggest joke, to be honest. Because if they try to tell that we are, that husband and wife, there should not be any fine on them. But they have paid it, like 4,000 rupees. I mean, this is a joke. Come on. Coming back to our subject of today, bureaucracy. Are they bureaucrats, as Alokji was mentioning about their intent? Because a bureaucrat, when he comes to the when he comes as an appointed or selected, means they are not elected, being selected after the exams, whatever they give. So they know that they have a career of 35 plus years or so, approximately 3 decades of career. Politicians, when they reach at a mark, they build it from the scratch, and their lifespan is also. A bureaucrat can definitely be a politician tomorrow. We are seeing it. But a politician cannot turn back to a bureaucrat. I mean, that's the way it has been. We're talking in the context of Bharat. When Alokji was mentioning from May 4th, I do recall the day the poll verdict in the state of West Bengal came in, people were expecting something to happen. And then there are some people, we have faith and trust in the federal government, means the central government. We were expecting something will happen. But when will it happen? And when everything is over, or what? The silence, what is the silence means? And either you have to come out and speak about it, but that did not happen. So bureaucracy is also working as per their convenience, which is not right, to be honest. If there is a law which has been made, it should be followed by all. Let this be from the topmost. Let this be even the Rashtrapati means the President of India, Prime Minister of India, Vice President. Everybody has to follow the law. It should not be that some specific chosen ones. We go to the airports, and sometimes you will see they will pick up someone, whisk them away and go. Why can't they be in the line? I mean, there is protocol. That is also a failure of a bureaucracy. Means
that is a new actually so-called rules that is not mentioned in constitution. That is called the VIP.
No, but how many VIP? But
they have already listed according to list.
I agree, but no, tell me honestly, with your conscious end, only those VIPs been whisked away. What about the others? So don't say that.
That's a point. That's a matter of question. According to constitution, all are equal. theory of
No,
equality.
no, जो VIP है मैं उनकी बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, because they have earned
Whoever,
that
Vandanaji, whoever VIP, I'm telling you another fact. There is no any. I'll take the Amit ji on the point. There is no any mention, any fact about the VIP culture in our Constitution of India, Bharat.
in USA, TSA is the security which is responsible at the airports. Okay, so when is a congressman, means the member of parliament, is going,
Yeah.
even he's been whisked away, उसका भी security वैसे होगा जैसे वंदना का होगा. So nobody
Oh,
is above.
that is okay. Security
So-
is okay.
No, but
Security
I
is
am
not
just
issue.
simply saying the
But there is
bureaucracy.
separate line for the special cases, for the I think the handicapped, for
Oh,
the
that is a
VIP.
different issue. For veterans, you give respect to them. That's
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
VIPs are not handicapped, so don't talk about that. Okay, so they are mentally handicapped, but not physically.
In general, we can say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So expecting, but I am just trying to conclude this thing that when they are not doing their job right, so you will see these kind of things happening. What has happened, that the case that you mentioned in Telangana, I'm not aware of it. You mentioned, so I heard, because every day there is a new drama. When we turn on the TV, like, and to watch Indian news, so there'll be something happening, and then there's a blame game happening. Like,
But national media in India is not highlighting accordingly what I told you and
Yeah.
I was shared with you.
so the coming back to every individual, whosoever, like bureaucrats, means now we are seeing our ministers. There are so many ministers. They were previous bureaucrats, right? Like here. So it used to happen less, but as Alok ji did mention, the precedent, somebody has set the precedence. So then the others will be looking, अरे 30 साल नौकरी करेंगे, यहाँ मलाई खाएंगे, उसके बाद में फिर वहां जाएंगे तो सरकार में मलाई खाएंगे, to be honest. So
I am personally against Vandana ji. Bureaucrats should be the politician. Other bureaucrats
they should
the
be
government.
given, no, if they want to join, there should be a time, not overnight, that you become a central and a cabinet minister.
No, I am different way. I will talk on this. I'll take up this matter of actually, this is time of the break, and after break, I'll take the Amit ji and Alok ji on this issue with you.
Thank
also.
you.
Welcome to break. How just Vandana ji is saying, Amit ji, about the VIP culture in that sense. Why? Any person, according to Constitution, we are all equal, we are same. Why any person should be given the priority, weightage, and special extra support and extra uh, undue privileged class facility for any public place and either way. Do you think this culture will be curbed or will be hindered in this Modi government? I'm not actually optimistic on this fact, but if you think anything, please just indicate us.
Rakesh, you see, firstly, we need to understand the Indian society per se, right? And Indian society is deeply ingrained in this VIP culture. If you go to a state like the Bihar or the Madhya Pradesh or UP, the sole ambition of a parent from farmer to professor is what? My son or my daughter ought to be an ISC officer. And why? I mean, you come from that belt, I come from that belt. That whole concept, that whole mystery, that whole aura of that lal batti wali gadi. I mean, I need a red beacon or a blue beacon on my car, and that is the ultimate status symbol in India, right? I slog,
That is set in the subconscious stage of mind.
I slog my ass off for 10, 15 years to get what? To get a beacon, right? And if I can get the beacon atop my car, my father, my mother, my chacha, chachi, blah, 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 my extended family, they flaunt me. अरे मेरा भाई तो IS है और जी मेरा बेटा तो IS. So that takes care of the society part. I'm very glad that post 2014, after Modi government came into power, they have taken some very drastic and some long pending steps to have a direct impact on this VIP culture and VIP thought process. So the first thing which they did was that no car, apart from the Prime Minister and the President and Chief Justice, they are allowed to flash their beacon. So the beacon gone. And trust me, if you talk to a MLA from Bihar or UP, he is heartbroken, right? He absolutely feels as if a power wand has been taken away from his hand, right? Now, this VIP culture which emanates from here, it assumes a different proportion once the bureaucrat is seeded into bureaucracy. Okay, fine. Abhi, I have got that beacon on my car. I have experienced and I have experienced the corridors of power. Now what next? Okay. Now next is I have to align myself with the so-called ruling dispensation. I have to be there good in their good books so that when I retire, I become another Shiv Shankar or Ji Hardeep Ji Puri, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Can you believe it? The Chief Justice of India, within weeks of remitting office, he was sent to Raj Sabha. I mean, how
Yeah.
blatant can it? I mean,
Yeah.
what
Should
else?
not be. Should not be.
Right?
I totally agree with you. Totally agree. Not
Minister,
the first time Ranjan Gogoi. I'm naming. Before that, in Congress regime,
I know.
Justice Rangnath
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mishra.
Fine. So from the
He
Minister of
also just accepted the Raj Sabha. What for? And what they have given the justice in the past, this
correct,
reflect with their work.
correct. Now, Minister of External Affairs was also a bureaucrat, and Mr. Puri was also a bureaucrat, and the list goes on. So, this heady concoction of social pressure and peer pressure, that VIP culture, being in the right books or the good books of ruling dispensation, this has absolutely torn apart the soul of society. And I mean, to extent that in UP, Bihar, or MP, if I cannot be an IAS, I am heartbroken. I am no good, right? So till the time we take away this whole aura around that red beacon or blue beacon, you will see more and more people would be dying to be a part of a bureaucracy, not to serve the nation or not to serve the society, but to flaunt their status and power. And as and as a progression, they would be eyeing a political seat also. Over to you.
Alok ji, just with so many references, so many experiences of Amit ji, just he already mentioned with his personal experiences and how he just tried to analyze the relation between bureaucracy and politics. Now, how do you define now this type of the activities by the bureaucrats for the politician? I think would be just with keeping some references, I will be also like that. How you balance these dreams, vision, action by the bureaucrat for the politician, and vice versa.
Now, what Amiji said is very right. I mean, this we have this VIP culture, we have this power cult, and there is a difference between people who are powerful in our society and those who are good for nothing. Good for nothing in the sense they could be an engineer, they could be a doctor, they could be a businessman. But since they are paying their taxes properly and they don't have any power, so probably at the most, what they will do is they will use their money power in case they have it. And the people who don't even have the money power, where will they go? So now this culture must go away. But I don't think it's going to be so easy. Why? I'll give you an example. Here in Europe, we were traveling with a member of the parliament, and a police officer stopped us. So there were some Indian friends also, and since they came up with this culture of a powerful person, a member of the parliament, he's the supreme force which has come from Jedi or something like this. So he came down and he tells the police officer, he says, this gentleman, he's a member of the parliament. And the police officer just looked at him and said, so what? You see the difference. He says, so what? In case he's the member of parliament, all the more reason he should have everything in place. So which means if you are a member of the parliament, you are going to be the first person to abide by the rules. In case you are a police officer, you are going to be the first person who is going to abide by the rules. Now, this does not apply. That's the reason we have that Lal Batti. But they are also forgetting that after Lal Batti, we also have a Neeli Batti, the blue, which normally goes.
Their colors, all colors are now.
No, the color blue Batti is for an ambulance. It has already been determined.
Yellow,
It is
blue, red, and
world
so many
standard
actually.
now.
Yeah.
So, which means in case you are going in a Lal Batti and you're, jumping red lights and all that, you might land up in a blue Batti. So, you have to be very careful with that. That is the first part. And the second part is, like you said, why are they doing it? I am not too sure. Being a bureaucrat is also not easy. Because if you see the, background of a lot of politicians, there are false cases also there, but a lot of them, they have a criminal background. I mean, they were Mohalle Ka Dada, and there is no denying that. And so what happens in case I'm a true, honest, bureaucrat who's come there to work, if I don't bend to the wishes of my political masters, then my life is made miserable. And if we talk about Bihar, we have seen how the family of certain bureaucrats, they were tortured and what not happened to their wives and children. So which kind of also fear, puts in fear in honest bureaucrats. It's not that all the bureaucrats are like this and all the politicians are like this, but there are cases. So that appeasement of their, high and mighty people so that they get a very plum posting somewhere so that he can get some money out of it. So that all plays into this. So unless this culture goes away, I don't see anything wrong in, let's say, in Bihar, in UP, in Madhya Pradesh, that it is my desire to have a red light. Like this is kind of an ambition which you're giving to a child. I want to become an IAS. So it is fantastic if you want to become an IAS or IFS or whatever, because that is the creme de la creme. The selection process and everything is so, it's so good that only the best of the talent comes there. So there's nothing wrong with it. But why do you want to have that red light? Do you want to have that red light because you want to come to that privileged position where going to work for the society? Or you're going to work for this politician who is there, who's a political master, and he could be an analphabet, he could be a 10th fail, and you are doing it so that you please him, that you get a plum posting, or you actually want to serve the people. Now, the same question has to be asked to the politicians. Are you into politics just because, you have an access to the public money, the taxpayers' money, and you want to enrich your family like it has happened in Uttar Pradesh and other places, or Bihar also? Or you are going to be honest and serve the people like the current government is doing? Now, that's the question to be asked.
Okay. So my two experiences just I want to share with all of you. Vandanaji, one experience of USA in 2018. I was just going somewhere and then I think New York, New Jersey area, and two politicians of the our Bharat country are also sitting with their car. It's a time about the 7 o'clock, some actually no darkness, but we found two policemen were just hiding behind the tree. And just they caught just ourselves with we can say the red-handed, we cross the red light and whatever, I think cross the line, I don't know, something. So he came behind the car and stopped the car. I was not aware the rules, but about who was just driving the car, he is local guy, so he just told me, now ask tum gaye. And then he came to, then I tried to impose, I can say, just try to, so he's a senior politician of the country. So I think there's some mistake, there is nowhere there. And we did not see your symbol, a signal, whatever. No way, you have to give the ticket. Whatever. Nothing, he was nothing listening. That's one way, good way, I can say. But if I presume, just if I were India, who can just dare to come with a politician sitting in a car and take the ticket? They just take the salad. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Go away, sir. This is difference one. And other, I was in Germany and in 99, 2000, and I saw one constable with just I try to find how it happened. Put his captain, just SP like a superintendent police. He put the behind the bar on the violation of he was drunken. He was driving the car in the drunken state. Just he was already drunk. This two incident. But after that, I asked one of my IPS friends, "Can you do like that? One constable can you? Any constable can put you behind the bar with some these offenses?" He said, "उसको नौकरी करना है कि नहीं करना है?" Like that. So this is the politics and bureaucracy relation and how the bureaucracy works also. So just to with this instance of the Telangana, I also just try to draw the line. Do you think the bureaucracy will be the disciplined one? Other way, politicians should be also disciplined for the sake of the public and policy and all.
As you mentioned, that the two episodes that happened, one in US and another one in Germany, I
Yeah.
just want to say that, like, being in Bharat, when we were growing up, we used to see, like, I never drove in India, Bharat, but we had a driver who used to take us around, or
Yeah.
somebody friends are driving. So they say when the cop used to stop, so पहली चीज है ओ मामा ओ ठुल्ला or this and that, they say English में बात करो वो आपको जाने देगा. This is like, means, and here when the cop comes and stops you, it is not a matter of that we are afraid of him, but it is that he is performing his duty. So
Yeah.
we are not scared of him. I am not scared of any cop, let me be very
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
And there is, because that's a difference which people have to realize, because if he is doing his job, due diligence, I should be respectful to him because he is being honest to it. हम ऐसा $100 दे करके निकल नहीं सकते हैं, 100 दे दिया या 500 दे दिया, because this has happened with me. We just came out from O'Hare in O'Hare
But sorry, one instance also I want to add. One instance from 2015 in California. And with my advocacy, I managed, I saved my friend who was driving the car with showing the all identity and requested very politely, and they okay. No, so you can do it.
So that's a different issue, because it is
And he
like, see,
convinced with my
yeah.
inputs, and they
Yeah.
okay, you may go. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, like, because my father is 94, because and my driving experience here is almost 25 plus years that I've been driving in this country. So it has never happened that you had, once they stopped my car behind, so he said, like, I see you that you are doing this. And because he could not see, there were geese, those who were ahead of me, the what you call it, the chota chota batak. So they were all, and this was a night. So then I told the cop that I'm saving those lives. They are 7 in the family. They are going because, the beam is confusing them. Sometimes they are going there, sometimes they're going there. This was around
Yeah.
2 a.m. in the morning. And my father and mother were in the car. He said, okay, you can go ahead. And they can also sense and smell, like, people are drunk or what. Like, so they have been very respectful to you. Means it's not that they are going to be. So if they are wearing a uniform, again, so that is because it's a two-way street, to be honest, because if people in India starts respecting the people, those who are in the uniform, and people in uniform treat them as humans, not like कि हमारे हाथ में डंडा है या ये है. So that is what, because it is all has to work together, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there is an education which is needed. The youth has to be, because sometimes आप जानते नहीं मेरा बाप कौन है, मेरा मामा कौन है, मेरा cousin कौन है. अरे come on, कोई भी होगा, you have made a mistake. And we do have one incident, means like this is on record, you can see, for a sitting president. Can this happen in any country? I mean, for a sitting president, President Bush, his 2 daughters were caught under DUI, driving under influence, and they had to be, means like the police took them, like they did whatever they were supposed to do. Sitting president, imagine. I'm not saying like, so that is needed. Everyone, if they do, means Now if there is dharna in Delhi because the BJP MLA or whatever was like caught with this, and why they didn't catch the, because okay, they should talk about it, they should make a noise. If you got me, get others also, but not blocking the roads, burning the cars and burning the trains. That should not happen.
Okay, so last take, Amit ji, how just you analyze the all situation of the political situation in Telangana related to the politics and bureaucracy. What happened? What should be happen? What should not be happen?
One of the biggest lies that PM Modi has been speaking around for a while is that he has got a chest which
Is
is
it loud
56.
actually? Just close the mic.
I'm saying one of the biggest lies of PM Modi is that he has got a chest of 56 inches. Right? This is jack shit. Because had Modi really had 56-inch chest, for every time a BJP worker was lynched in Kerala, Bengal, or anywhere else in the country, he would have stood up for his workers. I mean, it breaks my heart to admit that despite their 300 plus majority in the parliament, BJP comes across as a party with no balls. I mean, your state president is getting arrested like a lout, right? And you are doing what? You are tweeting. Hello, you are in power. You have government at the center,
JP
and you
Nadda,
have
the national
government
president, already went
in
there
place.
and it says dharna, but
The
not
point is, as
yeah.
the Alokji said, if you set a wrong precedence, then you have lost the battle. This
Yeah.
reaction should have happened when their workers were being butchered in Kerala. They said nothing. Then the same happened in West Bengal. They said nothing. Now the same is happening elsewhere, and it will keep going on. So please don't blame the bureaucracy or the regional parties. As a national party, as a party with a brute majority, you should have some strength of character by telling people at large that a wrong is a wrong is a wrong,
Yeah.
irrespective of the fact if it happens in Bengal or Telangana or Kerala or UP or MP or the Bihar. And this is one thing where I differ with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister comes across as a very weak leader when it comes to protecting his own party workers. So it's time when Modi should start speaking about his party workers, and doing what is required to take care of party workers. And that's the reason I'm not surprised when now the party workers in Bengal are deserting West Bengal, are deserting Bharatiya Janata Party, because they know that there is no one who will stand for them. And this is the same home minister who said in a rally कि हम कहीं जाने वाले नहीं हैं, हम यहीं रहेंगे. And the day they lost, no one has gone back to Bengal, and BJP workers are being lynched. They are being raped. You are doing what? Waiting for the heavens to part. So, as a national party and as a leader who has made some remarkable changes in this nation, it's time for Prime Minister Modi to show some courage, to show some grit, and to tell the world, and especially us, that there has to be one rule for every single citizen of India. This is the time when he has to show that you could. I mean, can you believe that in one country you have got separate route for Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs and I mean, ये दुनिया में कहाँ पे होता है? And this is the time when uniform civil code has to be brought in, a strong message has to be sent that there has to be one country, one rule. And if Pradhan Mantri Modi can do it, that would be the biggest game changer for him, the party, as well as Indians. Thank you so much. You're on mute, Rakesh.
Hope
Rakesh, you
Alok ji and Vandana, you'd agree with the inputs and whatever comments by the Amit ji.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is a
I
matter of
echo.
endorsement. He is saying a very correct way and judicious way, and Pradhan Mantri, Prime Minister Narendra Modi should take care of the workers as well as he's from the Bharatiya Janata Party. We should also take note of that. and I'll send this video to him also, and just to
No,
understand
because he mentioned the prayas. He should do the prayas first, that's what it is.
who prayas and what prayas, the time will see and time will check. So, but we'll just doing our prayas from our end, whatever we can do from our the intellectual ground. So nice of you. You just
Amit ji said very, very, very. I really means came out as if you're speaking my heart out.
Amit ji is actually eminent author of our country, and he is a master of the Soviet Literary Festival on the Nestlist ground. So I appreciate his thoughts accordingly, and I think we should go with the whatever judiciously do for the workers of the any party, either from the BJP and other party. We should also just study comparatively. Thank you very much, just you participants. So I will meet again and see, subscribe, and like our the Global Governance Institute. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.